mean there's more than one work.
Hmm.
There's more, you get 90 something like Deacon Norman, may not up in age, your work changed
Yes, sir.
to a different. It's still working in the kingdom,
Yeah.
but there's so many different work. There's all kind in the kingdom,
Yes, sir.
and we need laborers. And because the laborers are many, with many things to do, but the laborers are few.
Yes, sir.
Few laborers in the vineyard, but there's so much work. And the work sometimes, like I sang the song Sunday, was pressing on my, sometimes the work seems like it's small.
Yeah.
Sometimes it seems like you ain't doing nothing.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes people don't understand what you're doing.
Hmm.
They don't understand it.
Hmm.
But you still must work on it. If the Lord gives you something to do, He done prepared a way for you. You just go on. He never said it's going to be easy. He never said you won't have trials, tribulation. That's what He said you will.
Right.
But He said He'll never leave you. But you got to really trust that. You got to trust the Lord.
Yeah.
That's what and like I will be studying tonight. That's so important. Believe God.
Yes, sir.
That's right. That's all you got to do.
Yes, sir.
It ain't the easiest thing to do.
No.
But in the flesh.
No.
Another thing on my mind too is that Calvin talking about the shooting in the park the other night, and young children playing good. And we as black people, we want our, I come up with an idea, but then you use your idea. Now I'm mad with you.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like your idea can't be right now. Mine, because I got it, it got to be right.
Right.
We're so prideful.
Yep.
We're prideful people, man.
Yep.
And that's our downfall.
It really is.
It is a big time.
It really is.
See, play on that.
Yeah.
That's what got us divided right now. If you don't go my way,
Hmm.
I gotta come on. I can talk. I gotta even tell you. You do what I say do. Even though back the old preachers we used to have,
Yeah.
they used to tell us don't do what they do, but do what they say
Do
do.
what they say do.
Remember that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I tell my son that sometime now.
See?
Yeah.
So we learn that.
Yes, sir.
You
Yeah.
do what I tell you.
Right. Right.
But looking at that same verse you just brought up, that was Jesus speaking. He said, "I must work the work of Him that sent me." He's saying the same thing to us. Now do the work that God's saying to do.
That's right.
Not just your work.
That's right.
I mean, we can
Right.
always come up with some ideologies ourselves. But now that's what God is telling you to do. Do the work what God's saying to do.
Yeah.
That way you won't get in trouble. But now if you
Yeah.
start doing your own thing, you end up getting in trouble.
Hmm.
And then not only that, you ain't gonna have God back. So God said, "I didn't say you to do that.
Right.
Do what He's saying you to
Right.
do." You know?
Right. You know, and that's when
we can step out of line. You know?
right, and that's when we praying for God to fix the thing
Yeah.
on the back end,
Yeah.
but we didn't include Him
That's right. And the front
in
end.
the front end.
That's right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I know I can speak for myself with that one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but now I try not to do that. I try to get ahead of Him.
Right.
That's right.
You know, just slow down and wait.
Uh-huh.
And if He don't tell me to do nothing, I do my best not to do nothing
Yeah, just wait.
until I hear. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
That's a learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And that's an everyday thing too, you know. That's, you know, because you start getting anxious in regards to time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Deacon Calvin said, you know, we don't know how much time we got,
No, we don't.
and you know, God is so wise, He didn't tell us.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes we get a little anxious. I don't know how much time I got left. I need to get this and this and this and this done.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes them things ain't even important.
That's right.
You know, that's not the important thing. It's the works that He said to do.
Yeah,
Works.
Man, you do the minute or the hour.
yeah, we wait to the last minute.
Right.
Right. Exactly right. Exactly right. Exactly right. That's the truth. That's the truth.
I mean, I'm speaking for me.
Yes.
Yeah. That's right. That's just like the
Just saying I have me a little more fun.
right. That's like the parable of the workers. You know,
Yeah.
some worked from morning till evening. Some came in the middle of the day,
Uh-huh.
and some came at the end of the day.
That's a fact.
They all got the same pay, but none of them knew that they were gonna get the same pay. You know. So I guess that's human nature to
Yeah.
a point. You know, that's the inner man. So we're gonna keep on with talking about faith tonight. And last week, you know, we were in Romans 4, and Paul spent a good amount of time talking about Abraham,
Yeah.
the father of our faith. And I don't know if anybody had any thoughts about that or anything came to your mind from last week to now about it. But if not, I would like us, if we could start, we're gonna go to Genesis 12. That's gonna be the meat of the dinner tonight. But
Okay.
if we can go to Hebrews, the 11th chapter, the Hall of Faith,
Oh, yeah.
and we don't know for sure who wrote Hebrews. Most people think it's Paul.
Yeah.
I believe it's Paul.
I kind of feel it is.
I feel like
You
it
don't
is
know.
exactly, but they say they don't know, so we'll go with that. I can't prove it, but
Right.
I
Right.
tell you what I feel. But now Paul had a special place in this whole Christian journey. Paul was a complicated man, and once he was converted, Christ said he's going to suffer a lot of things in my name. And then he gave himself the moniker, the apostle to the Gentiles,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he wrote over 40% of the New Testament. Now we got this man taking as much time as he did to talk about one of the old patriarchs. So that goes to show how important Abraham really was. Now for me, I know he always called the father of our faith,
Yeah. Yeah.
but sometimes I would kind of read over that. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't read it with as much care as I know to do now.
But Abraham had to grow to that point.
Yes, sir.
He didn't start off being that way.
Oh no.
He showed some great weakness.
Yes, sir.
But it's like all of us. As we mature,
Yes, sir.
we get a little stronger.
Exactly
But
right.
he started off weak too. But
Yeah.
himself,
And in every book of this book,
Right.
there's a person that's showing weakness of some kind.
That's right. That's true.
But that goes to show that none of us can achieve perfection,
That's right.
not in the flesh. We can strive to the mark of the high calling
Yeah.
of Christ Jesus. When you strive, that's an active verb.
That's
You
right.
got to keep doing it. Just like you say, Deacon Leon and Deacon Maynard, 90, 80, they're still going. They're still striving, So it's a lifetime commitment.
It is.
Once you got a made up mind, and you don't stop there. So Hebrews 11th chapter. We just gonna read 8 through 11 before we go to Genesis.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
And let's say what Paul said about Abraham in this part. Now we know that Hebrews 11 is the Hall of Faith. These are some of the greatest
Yeah.
figures in the Bible that displayed, tremendous faith in times of adversity.
Right.
And we're not even going to read about all of what Paul said about Abraham in Hebrews, but just for this part that's relevant tonight,
Yeah, yes, sir.
we're going to go 8 through 11. I got a study Bible, so a little bit different.
That's right. Okay.
All right, 11 and 8. By faith, Abraham, when he was called, obeyed and set out for a place that he was going to receive as an inheritance. He went out even though he did not know where he was going. By faith, he stayed as a foreigner in the land of promise, living in tents, as did Isaac and Jacob,
Right.
co-heirs of the same promise.
Right.
For he was looking forward to the city that has foundations, whose architect and builder is God.
Right.
11th and final. By faith, even Sarah herself, when she was unable to have children, received power to conceive offspring, even though she was past the age, since she considered that the one who had promised was faithful.
Yeah.
Now, who made the promise to Abraham? Who made the promise to Sarah?
God.
God Almighty, God Himself. Let's go to Genesis 12.
Before you go
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes, sir.
let's put ourselves in Abraham, please.
Yeah, man.
Okay, you done got established. You done living in your house.
Yes, sir.
Settle down real good, you know.
Yes, sir.
Drinking tea and coffee.
Yes.
Not bothering you. And then something that the Lord come up and tell you, go ahead and move over to another country.
Yes,
And
sir.
he tell you where to go at.
No, sir.
Where you gonna find when you go there now.
No, sir.
So that shows you right there. He
Yes,
had
sir.
to display some faith to do that.
Yes,
now,
sir.
who wanna get uprooted? You know, once you done settle down, if you know anything but moving,
Yeah.
that's a tax.
Yeah.
You don't feel like doing that, you know, once
No.
you done settled,
No.
you don't go no place else again.
And he wasn't a young man.
Comfortable.
Yeah, and he wasn't a young man either.
No, that's another
No.
way.
And he had a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
So when you move, you got to figure out a way to take that stuff with you.
In line.
And later on in Genesis, you know, God displayed Himself to Abraham
Yeah,
differently.
yeah, he did.
But in this initial meeting, it's a voice in his head,
That's exactly right.
you know. Like Brother Glenn said, you know, you comfortable, you settled,
Yep, yep,
you in your home,
yep.
everything is all right. That's not the situations we taught to leave.
No.
We taught to leave when something wrong,
Uh-huh.
or when you being forced out, or you in danger.
That's right.
That's when you leave.
And then even if you tell me that, now you gotta tell me now, I done got something prepared for you over there, I got a match and all these pictures, God didn't tell him that,
Nope,
you see?
nope, not at all.
That's a tough decision.
Yeah. In my study Bible, chapter 12 is labeled the call of Abraham. The call of Abram, excuse me. The call of Abram.
Yeah.
All right. God's promise to Abram.
Okay.
Verses 1 through 3. God's previous covenant with Abram. The Lord said to Abram, "Go out from your land,
That's right.
your relatives, and your father's house
Yeah.
to the land that I will show you."
Yeah.
I haven't shown you yet.
No.
You don't know where you're going.
That's right.
I will show it to you. I will make you into a great nation.
Right.
I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing.
Right.
I will bless those who bless you.
Uh-huh.
I will curse anyone who treats you with contempt.
Right.
And all the peoples on earth will be blessed through you. Now let's stop right there, 1 through 3.
Right. Right.
Let's look at all these promises that God is telling this 75-year-old man who, like Brother Glenn said, is established, had a home, had a land,
Yep.
near his relatives,
That's right.
in his father's house.
That's right.
I want you to pick up and go. I want you to pick up and go. Now, all these blessings are made by God,
Right.
but they're all future tense.
That's exactly.
I will. I will. It's not I have.
No.
I have. I will. So with that, you got to trust.
That's right. That's a fact.
Now, to this point, Abraham hadn't done anything, right? He just got the call.
That's right.
Verses 1 through 3 is just him getting the call. This is what I want you to do. Now, you know, a voice in your head is a voice in your head, and you know, I that's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
You know, like I know all of y'all in here. If y'all tell me, Mike, you go to the end of the driveway and wait for me,
Right.
I don't have a problem doing that.
Right. Right.
I know y'all are trust y'all. I know that y'all wouldn't do me no harm.
Uh-huh.
You telling me to do it for a reason.
Right.
I got no problem doing that. But this is just so uncertain, you know? And we got to think, you know, this is, the Lord done destroyed the earth once.
Yeah.
He created it, had to destroy it, and now we almost starting over again. Telling a 75-year-old man, I will curse anyone who treats you with contempt, and all the peoples on earth will be blessed through you. How? That would be my question. And then why? Why me?
And believe you me, don't think the enemy wasn't whispering in the other ears.
Amen.
Yeah,
Man, I wouldn't do that.
right.
How you gonna provide for yourself? Because that's the way he is.
Exactly.
You know, he's subtle, he's tricky, sneaky, sly, you know.
Exactly right.
And he's gonna try to get you, you know, to turn around any way he can. I mean, he's still doing that now.
Exactly
That's
right.
everyday fight for me, you know.
Sure, sure. Same here. Same here. So, God has given him a set of commands, but he's also given him a set of promises,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yeah.
Because there is a reward if you believe what I tell you.
Right.
There is a reward. But for you to get that reward, you got to trust that what I tell you is going to work, right?
Yeah.
When we read Hebrews, the 11th chapter, the 11th verse just now, and it said that Sarah was able to conceive
Yeah.
because she believed that the one who made the promise
Yeah.
was faithful.
Yeah.
Now, it's easy to say that after the fact,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, because now initially, see, Sarah was 90 years old.
Yes, sir.
And she realized that when she was past the age of childbearing.
Sure.
So now she said, well, you know what? The only way this going to happen is I have to believe in him.
Exactly right.
But
Exactly right.
we know that that couldn't happen otherwise.
Right.
You know? And Abram was 100,
Exactly.
you know? So you got a 100 years old man and a 90 years old
Yeah.
woman, you know?
Yeah.
That ain't supposed to happen.
No.
Uh-huh.
No. And you know, there are things in our own lives like that we think that they can't happen,
Right.
or they dead, or it's
Right.
too late.
Right.
It can't happen for me.
Yeah.
But if we truly got the promise from him,
That's it.
if we're relying on the promises he made in this book, and we're not twisting and turning it for our own good,
Amen.
we can believe
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
like David said, we will see his goodness
That's right.
in the land of the living.
That's right. That's right.
But you know what this helped me with?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Job helped me with.
Yes, sir.
We don't have to know why.
Oh, man.
Matter of fact, we might never know why.
Right. Right.
Just
Right.
believe God.
Exactly
Just
right.
believe this Bible, this book,
Yes, sir.
and do what he said. But, you know, he didn't tell me why to get up my father's house, and
No.
he didn't even tell me what he was saying here.
No. No.
He just tell me to go
Yeah.
to a place you will show me.
Right.
Hey, you sure that's you telling me?
Yeah.
that? You know how we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I done had a bunch of stuff happen. I'm like, why me, Lord? Why this happened to me? You know?
Sometimes you'll never know why.
Right.
You don't have to know why.
You don't. He don't owe us an answer
No.
or an explanation. All we got to know is that he's faithful.
And he got
Yeah.
a plan.
Yeah.
He's got a plan, and it's a good plan. And we can go back to Romans 8:28, and we know that all things
Yeah.
That's right.
work together for good for those who love
Who love the Lord.
and are called according to his purpose. So we can trust that,
Yeah.
you know, and we can. Now Abraham, what he did ain't so hard. Now it's hard for him because he don't have this.
Right.
That's right.
He didn't even have the first 5 books. Like, you know,
Nope.
he have nothing
Nothing.
but a voice in his head.
That's right.
When we hear voices in our head now, what people say? Crazy. Lunatic. Full moon. Looking outside. So, something ain't right with that one.
Yeah. Talking to yourself.
Talking to itself. Something is wrong.
Schizophrenic.
All kind of things they say. You know? All kind of things. change, they say. Right, get a check for them.
Yeah.
Did you have something?
Could we say, when we say that Abraham heard the voice of God, we say the voice in his head, he had to hear to the voice of God, really knowing who was speaking to him.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm going to read my footnote. It says, when God saw the wickedness in Noah's day,
Right.
he chose to work out his kingdom purpose through one faithful man.
Right.
God's desire was still to fill the earth with his glory and bless all the peoples. But he would work through an individual to accomplish it. Thus, God commanded Abram to leave his father's house to go to a new land. Abram did not know where God was leading him. He only knew that if he would obey, God would respond by making him into a great nation, making his name great, and even using him to bring blessings to others. God would advance his kingdom agenda through Abram's faith. So God had to work on Abram enough to know that this is what you need to be doing. And that ain't so much different from us.
No.
It comes to a point where you know that the way you were living and the things you did think and the things you thought were all right,
Right.
it comes to a point where you can't go no further. And that's,
And then you even wonder why, after you done reached that, you done mature, wow, I don't see why you enjoy that so much.
you didn't. You probably didn't. And I look back and I didn't. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I thought, I wish I could have that time back to do it better,
Yeah.
you know, to serve him differently, to serve him better than I did,
Yeah.
to make my offering to him acceptable, because I know a lot of what I did
Yeah.
wasn't acceptable.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for John 3:17.
Me too. I am too. God saying, no, it's not in the world, condemn the world. But that the world with him might be saved.
Exactly right. And simply, all he wants is for us to believe.
And a lot of times we would just fall in the crowd. We
Yes,
just
sir.
want to be a part of the in crowd.
That's it.
Now, I think about this. Okay, just drinking beer.
Yes, sir.
They ain't got no good taste.
No.
It's bitter.
No.
How come
No.
they drink so much?
No. And it,
Then after I stopped, and I said,
Yeah.
you know what? Why did I fall in love with beer? That thing was bitter.
right, right.
But I was just doing it to please to get it over the crowd.
Yeah,
But the world got its own way of doing things,
yeah,
Yeah.
and we just did it the way the world did.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Brother got us all the time. Before we were serving God,
Yeah.
we were serving the enemy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He got his own way.
Yeah.
Then he make you think, like you said, you never enjoyed it.
No,
Or why you doing it? Because you feel you fitting in.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right, right.
At
I
the end of
don't,
the day, it's never a good feeling.
Right.
at the end of the day.
I don't want to be without my friends.
Yeah,
You
right,
know, I don't want them to look at me as
yeah,
not,
Yeah.
nah, if that's what you choose to do, that's fine. I still love you, we still friends, but I'm man enough now to say, I ain't gonna do it. You know, call me tomorrow when you get home. Let me know you get home safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're in trouble, call me. I'll come get you. You know what I mean?
And then you know I learned about that too. They'll flee from you.
Yeah.
You ain't got to run.
You ain't gotta run there.
They'll fall off.
Yeah.
They'll flee from you.
I've been noticing that a lot lately.
If you the devil, he'll flee from you. You ain't gotta run him.
Right.
No, they say you ain't fun no more.
Yeah.
You don't want to be with you no more.
They don't even owe me money. They just gone. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes.
They know you're not.
Right.
Exactly.
They just gone. And I noticed that lately. Just fall. And now I know better than to chase after them.
Right.
Because before, I couldn't accept that. I'm like, you know what? What did you? You know, now I know we just, you know. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And when it's gone, I'm okay with it being gone now. No, no. With fear and trembling. And that's why I am. With fear and trembling. I know I can't play with.
No.
No, I
They're with a fire, you will get burned.
no.
That's pretty much the same thing with God doing to Abram.
Yes, sir.
Putting you in a different lifestyle.
Yes, sir.
Getting out of the old lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what the Bible, well, you learning what the Bible says.
Yeah.
But when you getting out of that old lifestyle, you ain't know what you're going into.
No, you don't.
No.
That's true. I didn't think about it that way. That's very true.
You know, but that, it's God changing your life when you have it.
And when that transition come in your life, and it happens. I know when my transition started, and people see the transition.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they knew, and they saw it before I even could see it.
Yeah.
Because I was hearing things like, "Oh, you think you're better." And even to the fact that, "Oh, because you know a little bit of scripture," and I'm like, I'm still learning scripture. I don't.
Right.
You know a little scripture. I'm like, I'm not nowhere near where I should be.
Right.
Even now, I'm still trying to learn and study. And you know, and you'll find yourself fighting it. And you know, you got to walk away because you'll find yourself defending.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm, you know, because you know, we all feel like, you know, we want everyone to fit in. We want to love, we want everybody to think like us. But when you start that transition, you know, it's a whole different thing. But you got to stay on the course, I tell you, you know, no matter what. And you can still be, and like I said, I'm like, I can't, why am I defending this? Yeah, I am feeling better.
Yeah.
I am walking a little different.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to join me, come on. You know, because we can walk together.
That's right.
Yeah. You can still think, I don't look down, and I wasn't looking down on nobody. Because any day, I can slip and fall.
Yeah.
I pray not, but you know, I remember I was at that point in life.
Right.
So when that happens, though, you know, you can't defend it. I don't feel like you have to defend it because you don't.
Right. Right. No. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And you know what? If he do encourage you to do something kind of okay, it's an ulterior motive.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes, sir.
But you know, Deacon Calvin, them same thing they asked tell you, do you know a little bit of scripture and something like that? That made some of us turn back. They even used to tell me, you think you holier than thou. Stuff like that. I remember when you should do this.
Right. Right.
And some people turn back
Yeah.
because they felt ashamed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But you did right. And,
Right.
and then now they asking me to, when they have situation,
Pray for me.
pray for me, Deep,
Pray for me.
which I do.
I know you do. I know you do.
Yeah, but you know, I was trying to say some of the,
Yeah.
that's where the enemy works. He can try to turn you back all the way
Right.
until you hear servant of God well done.
Right.
Yeah.
And sin always take you a little bit further than you meant to go.
That's right.
You know, start with a beer, and you turn to liquor.
That's right.
Wisdom, I remember them days.
Exactly. You know.
Such a foolish wisdom.
Exactly.
Don't have fun though,
Yeah.
in the flesh.
Yeah.
Money going,
Yeah.
Right.
feel bad,
Yeah.
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
shame yourself.
Hmm. Exactly. No.
Right. You never know what you're gonna do.
Right.
Right. That's
Right.
wherein
Right.
excesses.
Right. Yeah. And,
To me, I never felt, and I had some days, but I was like, why would you want to feel that way every time when you go to that far?
Yeah.
You know, when you get that far,
yeah.
what's
the point of it?
what's the enjoyment when you get to
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
you know it up, you just
Right.
you have no
Right.
And that's a fact. That's a
spinning.
Yes, sir.
Gotta put one foot down.
I couldn't even get up and go to the store. I had to live in spite. And my skin was great. For 3 days I was great. I think I had alcohol poisoning.
Might have been.
You know, I'm empty stomach.
Yeah.
The bowl, you know the bowl?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That was it for me. That one time.
That was
I had
enough.
to be in control of
Yes, ma'am.
my
Yes,
thoughts
ma'am.
and everything.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Jesus, help us.
Yeah.
That's a feeling in a box by itself.
Yeah.
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 No.
No, it ain't. It ain't no good
No,
feeling.
I never go back to it.
Yeah.
I read his hot sauce.
God, that's a look.
What's ready?
That's a look. I'm trying to imagine that.
Right.
Right. Still there. Still there. Now you got two problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Right.
That's it.
Right.
Yes.
Be right back where you started.
Still,
Still right there. Right. Yeah. And I think that's when the book of Proverbs say, when the Lord bless you, he adds no sorrow to it. So, you know, you're trying to self-medicate or deal with a problem, I think you ain't doing nothing, you know.
But we got an enemy, you know. Let them do that. He's a deceiver.
Yes, sir.
Some people will get a gun and go on the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
got problems
Yeah.
in life. But when you get in the book, you tell us we gonna have problems in this world. All that come after me, all that follow me,
Suffer
they gonna
persecution.
suffer.
Yes, sir.
But Satan don't like that. And
No.
even the evil, he deceived many and stole Satan's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now when they used to get drunk and feel bad the next day, like,
Hmm.
you got the audacity to call on the Lord.
Yeah.
Lord,
Same here. Get me through this one.
Lord, you got me on this one.
I
I
ain't
ain't
gonna
doing no more.
Next night,
That's right.
same prayer. Lord, he get me through this.
Lord, I ain't doing no more if you help me. Feel
Yeah.
better. Feel better. Same thing Friday coming.
Last verse, same as the first, right? That's it.
Man, that's foolish.
You know.
But I thank God.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
Because everything is relative. We wouldn't realize how good this really is
That's right.
if you hadn't made some mistakes.
That make you pray more for
Yeah.
the brothers who we left out there.
Right.
Don't look down on them like Deacon Doyle.
No. No.
Pray for them brothers, man.
Yep.
Every now and then you give them a word of encouragement.
That's it. That's it. And like Sister Karen said, you got to work out your own soul salvation. And that look different for everybody.
Yeah.
The timing is different. The way it happens is different. You know, how you respond to it is different. But
Situations are different.
exactly right. You know, I'm thankful that in all the foolishness that I've done, I never hurt nobody or took something from somebody that I couldn't give back, like a life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because,
I can say that too.
you know, I'm thankful for that because,
Me too.
you know, yeah,
Yeah, it could.
That's a breeze.
Yeah.
you know,
Yes, sir. That's why.
yeah,
Studying the book of
because,
Job. I think we go through things. Start studying the book of Job. I think we go through things. God allow us to go through things.
mhm,
And he bring us through them things.
yes, sir,
Now you got to feed my sheep.
yeah,
Somebody out there hurting. The same thing
Yeah.
you went through, you can witness to them.
yeah,
Because you know it. You've been through it.
right,
Because they gonna first thing gonna tell you, I remember when.
Exactly
yeah, I remember,
right.
Like Glenn like to say, I remember too because I did it.
right, right.
Yeah.
I remember clearly.
And I got a better way. I
Mhm,
don't have to do that no more.
mhm,
And pray for the brother.
exactly
Sister or
right,
whatever.
exactly right.
Don't try to. My daddy always told us, you tell a man something, make sure he understood you, you leave alone. Don't try to beat him in your head now.
Mhm,
You're gonna gain an enemy if you do.
right,
Yeah.
that's
You're
true.
right there. You plant the seed.
That's right, that's right.
watching you now.
Right. One man plant,
That's right.
one man water. God gives the increase. Or
You might
makes
never see that person
right.
change his life, but
Right.
God got a time.
Right.
God time is not all the time.
No. No.
But you gotta believe that, like our parents, some of our parents done dead and gone,
Yeah.
but they prayed for us way back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some might never see the fruition, they come from it. They believe God. Lord, I know you're able. I know you can do it.
Yep.
And that's what we got to be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not our children, our neighbors' children too.
Right. Right.
Lord, I know you can do it. I know you're going to do it.
And you know, it takes courage to have that mindset,
Yeah.
you know. But not courage in yourself, courage enough to believe
Believe.
that the one who promised you is faithful. Right? 'Cause let's look at verse 4. Now, 1 through 3, God told Abram all he was going to do for him.
Right.
Now, he ain't showed him nothing. He ain't pull out no checkbook and start writing.
Yeah.
He didn't take him to a cliff and say, look, now I'm going to give you this.
That's right.
He just said, you go. Basically, at the end of the day, you go.
Yeah.
Now, verse 4, let's look at verse 4 by itself.
Okay.
So Abram went
Yeah.
as the Lord had told him,
Right.
and Lot went with him. God ain't telling him to take Lot with him, but hey, that's the human side of us.
That's right.
Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran.
You're right.
So, wasn't no back and forth with Abram.
No. No.
He was obedient to the call. I think that's something we struggle with. I know I struggle with the call.
Yeah.
You know, is this happening to me? Is what I hear people say happen to them happening to me? You know, I don't want to go to that place no more. I want to be a little more knowledgeable of this book. I want to understand what the purpose of it is. From Genesis to Revelation, I want to know. So he just obeyed. So Abram went as the Lord had told him. And Lot was his nephew, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, God didn't tell him to take him with him,
Right.
but
That's my question I was gonna ask.
yeah, he didn't tell him to take him. He said, "Go out from your land, your relatives, and your father's house."
That's right. That means kindreds too, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fine.
I got a family member, my brother, we're pretty close.
yes, sir.
And I feel more confident being around him,
Yeah,
being in his company.
yeah,
I can believe the Bible don't tell us that, but you can be a little fear in you.
hmm
God said, He ain't even tell me where I'm going at.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's the human side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the God of us, right.
yeah.
Fear make you do things.
Exactly right.
That ain't in our eyes, my eyes, that ain't a bad thing,
No,
but that ain't a godly thing. God ain't
Right.
doing it.
right. In this particular situation, he didn't tell him, and we know Lot caused some trouble for him.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
And then, you know, the families back then were real close and tight.
Yes, sir.
And Lot daddy had already passed.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So I guess Abram feels obligated.
You take care of him. You know. I would do the same thing. You know, if something, I honestly would. You know.
But you got to,
Yeah.
you can see the trust in God in this thing too.
Yeah.
Because you want him to be, you want your nephew to be whatever. You know God.
Yeah.
You believe God with what He told you.
Yeah. And he did.
Yeah,
You know.
you believed it.
Yeah.
You
You
believe
know.
it so much that you bring you help someone
Yeah.
else along the way.
Yeah. You know, even the mistakes that Abram made, quote unquote,
Yeah.
God blessed them.
Yeah.
He blessed Lot.
Yeah.
He blessed Ishmael.
Yeah.
He blessed Hagar.
That's right.
You know, he even when he didn't listen quite
Right?
to what God was telling him,
That's right.
God still blessed it.
Yeah, he sure did.
That's right.
But he blessed it, I think, because Abraham believed. He believed and he obeyed.
Yeah.
Right? Now that's two different things there, right? Believing and obeying. I can believe you but now am I ready to obey?
That's right.
You know, from verse 3 to verse 4. There ain't no time passing between. So Abram went
Yeah,
as the Lord had told him,
that's right.
and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran.
Well, that's faith and work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can say I believe you, but if I'm showing it,
Right. 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 5 and 6. He took his wife, Sarai, his nephew Lot, all the possessions they had accumulated, and the people they had acquired in Haran. And they set out for the land of Canaan. When they came to the land of Canaan, Abram passed through the land to the site of Shechem at the oak of Moreh. At that time, the Canaanites were in the land. So we got what Abraham had to do. He had to pack up.
Yeah, yeah, sure did.
At the age of 75, life was pretty settled,
Yeah,
comfortable. You with your family.
yeah,
You got possessions, because it said he had to pack up his things.
that's right.
He took his wife, Sarai's nephew Lot, all the possessions they had accumulated, and the people they had acquired in Haran.
Yeah,
And they set out for the land of Canaan. When they came to the land of Canaan,
yeah,
Abram passed through to the land, to the site of Shechem, at the oak of Moreh.
yeah.
So after verse 3, Abram didn't hear from God for a few verses,
Yeah,
right?
Yes, sir.
He just went as the Lord had told him, right?
Yeah, you did,
Now when we get to 7, God comes back to him.
right.
We're going to look at 7 through 9. God appears to Abram in Canaan. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give this land." Let's stop right there. Let's stop in the middle of that in that verse. Abraham didn't have any offspring.
amen.
Right.
75. We think he's still 75 at this point at least. And everything is still future tense. Remember in the first 3 verses, I will show you, I will make you, I will bless you, I will make your name great. You will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you. I will curse. And all the peoples on earth will be blessed through you.
That's right, that's right.
The Lord appeared. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Abram wasn't scratching his head.
Oh, yeah.
I hear all this you saying.
Yeah.
I ain't had no child yet.
Right,
Because the mind will do that to you, you know.
right, right,
I can imagine, you know,
right.
it wasn't easy,
Mm-hmm.
because he's thinking all these things, you know, I hear what you're saying, but, you know,
Right.
I ain't seen no manifestation yet, you know.
That's right.
But still, he persevered, he went on, you know. He was obedient,
Yeah.
I'll give him credit there. He
Yeah.
was obedient.
You know, another thing that caught me strange in this chapter versus what we studied in Job is the attitude of the wives.
Yeah, yeah.
Sarah didn't question anything.
No.
She just, later on, she, had a moment where she laughed when God told her she was going to see.
That's right.
But initially here, she just went,
Obedient too.
Not that Job's wife was disobedient,
Right.
but, going through her tragedy as well,
Right.
she responded a little bit differently.
Uh-huh.
But here, this is an older couple, packing up, moving, when you're comfortable. But sometimes we got to get uncomfortable when we're going through
Right.
our conversion. We think of Paul on the road to Damascus. Had to get uncomfortable for a few minutes,
Oh, yeah.
knocked off his horse,
Yep.
lost his sight, had to be led to a house, street called straight, prayed for by somebody who you were going to persecute. If Paul had a chance, he'd have killed Ananias because he had letters to do so.
Paul was kind of rough now.
Paul was rough,
When he got changed, he was rough.
but God had to work on both sides of the ball on that one.
Yeah.
He had to work on Saul, that's the conversion. He also had to work on Ananias, because Ananias,
And
Lord,
I
are
was
you
afraid
sure?
of him.
Are you sure you want me to do this?
That's right.
Because we know what he's done.
That's right. We heard about what he did in Jerusalem. And now
Right.
he got letters from the high priest to come down here and bond everyone and call on their name.
Exactly right.
So we have to question God with that, you know.
So we can all be faithful and be doing a completely different thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? But we know that God is the author and the finisher
Oh, yeah.
of our
Yeah,
faith.
there you go.
So we got to work, once again, work out our own souls. I can't worry about what he told you to do.
That's right.
I got to worry about what he told me to do,
Yeah.
right?
But just like Brother Wilson said earlier, Satan whispered in the other ear too,
He's always doing that.
Always.
telling the flesh, you sure, Lord?
Right. Right.
Yeah, you sure that's you, or you sure you want me to do that?
Exactly.
Then we quick to say Satan is a liar.
Exactly right.
But that's God. You got to know when he's speaking to you. You think,
Yeah.
my sheep know my voice.
I'm sure Ananias said that. Sure?
You sure, Lord? Everybody said the same thing.
Exactly right.
I'm 75, man.
Exactly right.
Well, you want me to go anyway. As human, we want to know.
Yeah. We want to know the
We want
details.
to know some kind of detail.
Exactly. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, to your offspring I will give this land. So he built an altar there to the Lord who had appeared to him. So now I said the Lord appeared to him. First it was a voice.
Yeah.
Now the Lord appeared to him. Building an altar is worship. So Abraham worshipped him right there. Abraham doing all right.
When you study books, say about when God appeared to you.
All right. 7, it says, Abraham's faith and action had led to further illumination, to greater clarity of God's will, purpose, and direction for his life. Don't necessarily say anything about, you want to say anything?
No, I just
Okay.
because you said if God appeared, I was thinking that He's seen God. Well, I would teach us different from
Right,
a man that's seen God.
right. Well, he appeared in ways, right? No man has seen God, but he can make himself manifest. Moses saw the bush, right? The Israelites had the pillar of cloud and the pillar of fire. Abraham saw the 3 men come to him before he had Isaac. Isaac, right? Yeah, before he had a son.
Yeah. Isaac.
Yeah, he had the 3 men came to him.
Yeah.
You know, those are different theophanies. People saw, they encountered,
God
you know,
uses what He want to use.
right,
He can use the environment,
right,
weather, and all that.
right. You know, they said Jacob. Some people say Jacob rested with God. Some people say it was an angel. But either way, it's a heavenly being. It was God. It was a godly encounter. So yeah. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, to your offspring I will give this land. I don't have no offspring. I really don't have no land yet.
And then occupied.
Right. So he built an altar there to the Lord who had appeared to him. 8. From there he moved on to the hill country east of Bethel and pitched his tent. Left my house, I'm pitching a tent, with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. He built an altar to the Lord there. Built another altar, that's worship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he called on the name of the Lord.
Right.
Then Abram journeyed by stages to the Negev.
Yeah.
Right, on the way to Egypt. So he's still listening.
Yeah.
He's still obeying. All right. Now here's where we get to the point where Abraham starts showing his human side again.
Right.
All right. Getting into the land of Egypt. 10. There was a famine in the land, so Abram went down to Egypt to stay there for a while because the famine in the land was severe. Think that's a coincidence? Anything God do coincidence?
Not with God. We might see it
Yeah.
that way, not with God.
Everything is precise.
Yeah, yeah.
Every to the second. You know? There was a famine in the land. So there was a famine in the land. First it said, go out from your land, your relatives,
Right,
your
right,
father's house. No
right.
famine there.
No,
You're comfortable.
that's right.
Now you tell me to go somewhere
Uh-huh.
and I run smack into a famine.
That's right. And see, this was very grievous too.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
There was a famine in the land, so Abram went down to Egypt to stay there for a while because the famine in the land was severe. When he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, look, I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, this is his wife. They will kill me,
That's right.
but let you live. Please say, you're my sister, so it will go well for me because of you, and my life will be spared on your account.
That's right.
So Abraham trusts God,
Yeah.
but not fully.
Right. That's right.
And none of us can say anything different. We trust God to the point that we kind of can understand. But then when it really called for faith and believing that he's worked out the situation beyond what we can know or register, see, we get a little doubtful.
Yes, right.
So Abraham tried to help God out a little bit. Let me make this a little bit easier for you.
Well, see, the enemy putting thoughts in your mind,
Hmm.
making you think. Now, you know how you know the people gonna say that's your
Right,
wife or sister.
right.
That's the enemy putting thoughts in your mind, and then you
Uh-huh.
forgetting about how powerful the God who promised you all these promises.
Exactly.
And he didn't say I might do this. I said I will.
Yeah. Right,
I will bless. I
I
will
will.
curse you.
right.
But see, that's why we also, Abraham was still growing.
Right.
He
Yeah,
hadn't reached that level of maturity yet,
right.
you know, where he was fully trusting God. Because there was a lot of doubt that would cross his mind. But now here you in a strange land, you know, and these
Uh-huh.
people you don't even know these Egyptian had.
Exactly.
And they had a reputation too.
Exactly
Ruthless
right.
and all of that.
Exactly right.
After he would think that they're gonna kill me.
Exactly right. Exactly right. You know, this was a custom.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, he said, when the Egyptians see you, they will say, this is his wife. They will kill me,
That's right.
but let you live. Please say you're my sister,
Right.
so it will go well for me because of you, and my life will be spared on your account. When Abram entered Egypt, the Egyptians saw that the woman was very beautiful.
Right.
He wasn't wrong there. He knew the nature of man.
He knew them.
Right.
Right.
He knew the nature of man. He was still getting acquainted with the nature of God, though.
That's right. Right.
Right?
Still growing.
Still growing. And that's what we are. I could say to a point where you would say, you a man, I kind of know what you would think about a thing to an extent. Right? But we don't know what God would say about the same matter. Right? So, going into this foreign land with this beautiful woman, and you know, if the Bible say you a beautiful woman, you a beautiful woman, you a beautiful woman, and she wasn't no young woman, but she right.
And Bible, in my say,
Uh-huh.
she had wealth,
Yeah.
beauty,
Mm-hmm.
and potential of political.
Yep. And that's why a lot of times, yeah, she had a lot to offer.
Right, she
Yeah.
had a lot to offer, and she couldn't enter into Pharaoh's harem,
Right. Being married.
being that,
Right.
Abraham was alive, so that's.
So that's why they were gonna kill him.
That's even more reason to kill him too now.
Right. Right.
and she got wealth.
Exactly right.
Got even more reason to think they're gonna kill me.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah.
So the enemy can play on that,
Oh,
and he did.
any little thing.
That's right.
Exactly right. Exactly right. It wasn't no poor women. Yeah. When Abram entered Egypt, the Egyptians saw that the woman was very beautiful. Pharaoh's officials saw her and praised her to Pharaoh. So the woman was taken to Pharaoh's household. He treated Abram well because of her. And Abram acquired flocks and herds, male and female donkeys, male and female slaves, and camels. In Egypt, Abram worried that someone might see Sarai's beauty and kill him to get her. So Sarai was to say that she was Abram's sister, which according to 20 and 12 was half true.
Right.
Abram was ready to give up his wife and abandon the promise of God for mere self-preservation.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
He didn't say anything about her safety or well-being. He said, you tell us, you go along with this
Right.
so that I'll be okay. Forgetting what, at this point, verse 3, I will bless those who bless you. I will curse anyone who treats you with contempt. He had God's protection. He had his word that he was protecting. But that's that human side. Now I'm going into a real situation now.
Right.
You know, it's all good while I'm sitting here and ain't nobody in front of me ready to do me harm. But now when that moment comes, okay,
When the rubber meet the road.
when the rubber meet the road, you know, what do I do? Exactly right.
But every day is something different.
Yeah.
Like it's a daily fight. We got to fight this fight every day with the same word. It might be a different fight, but the same word.
Same word.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
That's what, you know, and watch, you not get to 16?
No, go ahead.
No,
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
The same woman
Yeah.
he wanted to say was his sister. God, you the same woman to bless him with.
Yep. Yep.
From her beauty.
Uh-huh.
Same thing he was afraid of, was going to take his death,
Yep.
cause his death.
Exactly right.
God made you a promise, man, and that's
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't know that, I don't know. He had to learn, just like Brother Gaston said. He had to grow.
Faith got to grow.
He had to grow.
Gotta grow.
Right, he had to grow.
Gotta grow.
Faith.
Yep. 17. Now Pharaoh done took this woman because he said he was a sister, so she fair game
That's right.
as far as Pharaoh's concerned, right? I wasn't doing any harm, right? But the Lord struck Pharaoh and his household with severe plagues because of Abram's wife Sarai. 3. I will bless those who bless you. I will curse anyone who treats you with contempt. Now Pharaoh didn't necessarily treat him with contempt. He was treating him based on what he was told. So Pharaoh sent for Abram and said, what have you done to me? Why didn't you tell me she was your wife?
Right.
Why didn't you tell me she was your wife? Why did you say she's my sister so that I took her as my wife?
Yeah.
Now here's your wife. Take her and go.
Yeah.
I will bless those who bless you. I will curse anyone who treats you with contempt, and all the peoples on earth will be blessed through you. Then Pharaoh gave his men orders about him, and they sent him away with his wife and all he had. Go back up to 16. He treated Abram well because of her, and Abram acquired flocks, herds, male and female donkeys, male and female slaves, and camels. Now, Abram wasn't poor when he left.
No, it wasn't.
Because of her beauty.
Right. Now he got more.
Yeah. You know, it makes you wonder, what kind of plague would that God put on them?
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
It had to have been something.
Yeah.
That should help Abram. That should help him trust the Lord a little more for the next time.
Exactly
But there
right.
gonna be more.
We go from faith to faith,
Yeah, there you go.
from faith to faith, from test to test, from trial to trial. Exactly right. He
And
should.
I tell us right now that if God make you a promise,
Hmm.
you can believe it.
You can believe
You
it.
can trust him.
Yep. Exactly right.
I mean, you might don't see the way this
Exactly
Job
right.
didn't know.
Nope.
Abram didn't know.
Nope. Didn't know.
All he knows what God tells us.
That's
You don't-
right.
You don't have to see.
That's it.
And the human part of us want to see some kind of detail in it.
That's right.
Would you say that he didn't know? You say he didn't have the faith to trust and believe.
That's why he
God
didn't
told him,
know.
you know, when you read it, he said, curse those.
Yeah, but he forgot that.
Soon we forget it when
Yeah. When.
Robert hit the road.
Right.
His faith,
Hmm.
that's when his faith was.
That hadn't developed yet.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it wasn't developed.
Exactly
It
right.
should have been. And we can say all this we want to say.
Right.
Now wait till your rubber needs
There
to
you
roll.
go.
Right.
And let's see what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
He knew,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
when he
Yeah.
got to that point,
Yeah,
Till you get
Yeah.
in a situation you don't know
Yeah.
that's right.
how you react.
That's right.
Now my study Bible said this about these last 3 verses.
Okay.
God remains committed to his kingdom program and promises, even when his people fail.
That's right.
He sent severe plagues to Pharaoh's household,
Yeah.
which immediately signaled to the people involved that they had been deceived.
Right.
Sadly, Pharaoh acted with more integrity than Abram in giving Sarah back to her husband without punishing the couple.
That's true.
I will bless those who bless you.
Yeah.
Pharaoh acted with more integrity than Abram
Yeah.
in giving Sarai back to her husband
That's right.
without punishing the couple.
That's true. That's true.
Get you up out of here, though.
Yes, sir.
And your wife.
Yes, sir.
So phenomenal, isn't it?
Yes, sir. And it had to happen quickly,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And Pharaoh asked him, why did you do this to me?
Exactly.
But that goes to show that God had already had him protected.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right.
He was already protected. He was already covered.
Yeah.
So when he tells you to take that first step and you decide to take it,
Yeah.
you might as well make your mind up
Yeah.
to go all the way.
That's right.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. He had it.
He was covered.
Yeah.
But like Glenn said, when the rubber hit the road,
Yeah.
when that situation hits,
Mm-hmm.
and the human side of you, and we all got that, that's who we are.
That's right.
And when it comes out, you're going to do what you think is best for self-preservation.
Right. Right.
Especially your life. And
Exactly right. Exactly right. That's it.
only human.
Only human. We're going to stop there for tonight. We're a little bit past time, but we're going to stop there for tonight. We got through 12,
Okay.
and we're going to continue on with faith the next time. And I'm going to we're not going to go all the way through Abraham's story, but we're going to pick the parts out that deal specifically with his faith.
Gotcha.
All right?
Yeah.
So we'll work on that for next time, all right?
Sounds good.
All right, all right. Deke, set us free, sir? All right.
Lord, we want to tell you thank you
Thank you.
Yes, Lord.
for who you are.
Yes.
Because you are God.
Yes, we do.
And you're God all by yourself.
Thank you.
We want to thank you, Lord, because you're our God.
Yes.
For we know it's you who have made us, and not we ourselves.
Yes.
We are your people, Lord.
Bless you, Lord.
We are the sheep of your pasture.
Yes.
Lord, we ask you to so please lead us and guide us.
Please,
And we will follow, Master.
Yes.
please.
So, Lord, I know
I know.
when you lead, you will provide for us.
Yes, he will.
And then, Father, as we leave this place,
Yes.
never leave your presence, Lord.
Yes.
If it's your will, Master, help us to get back to our destination.